Welcome everyone. The Kia Seltos, when it was launched back in the year 2019, set a benchmark in the mid-size SUV segment in India. It didn't just have modern styling, it had an extensive feature list, extensive equipment list, and not just that, it also had multiple powertrains. Now when Kia set out to bring a new Seltos in the market, they had to up this benchmark that they had set in 2019. What all did they do? Well, they didn't do much, but they didn't do much little either to not notice. The newer Seltoses are here, and let's take a look at them.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, and we ain't done yet. But a new crib, that's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told them last year that I've been up next. Can't take calls, but I send that text from way downtown, but the shit's still wet.
In India, bigger is perceived as better. And that's what the Seltos has also gone for. A few millimeters here and there, it has increased in dimensions. Not much to be noticeable. What's noticeable though is a newer fascia. There's also a newer face grille, and these LED elements now come up with some nice design elements taken from the EV6. There's chrome as we've seen before, and apart from it, the entire LED setup on the top of the line variants also includes progressive LEDs, which is much up in the higher class segments than the mid-size SUVs. Although the overall silhouette of the Seltos looks the same, what has changed though are newer R17 and R18 alloys and 4 disc brakes on all the 4 tires on the top of the line variants of the Seltos. Primarily, the Seltos will be offered in 3 lines. There'll be a Tech line, there's the X line, and then the top of the line GT line. What all of these get is similar panometric designs at its rear, and this connected LED, which is in symmetry with the front, makes the car look really appealing. The most differentiating factor between the X line, GT line and the Tech line is the way the bumpers have been designed on the GT line. Here you get a split bumper setup along with 2 actual exhausts on the petrol variant. Kia is also offering the new Seltos with 433 litres of boot space. This is pretty healthy for a mid-size SUV. The most significant addition to the cabin space of the new Kia Seltos has to be this large panoramic sunroof. It brings in a lot of light, and despite this being the GT line with all black interiors, it does illuminate the cabin very well. You also get a armrest with cup holders. For creature comforts, there's also air purifier with individual controls. You also get 2 AC vents and 2 USB Type-C ports along with storage areas. All the seats back here get adjustable headrests, and the space in here is also quite ample. There's a good amount of knee room, and this space also liberates sufficient amount of headroom despite the new panoramic sunroof. We're sat inside the Kia Seltos, and this is the GT line. Obviously, that's the reason why everything is much black in here. The normal variants would have different tones on the interiors. What you also find on the GT line is the inclusion of ADAS technology. There's a front camera along with some radars around that gives it around 17 features of ADAS level 2. The steering wheel is typically Kia, and the GT line gets a flat bottom steering wheel, as you can see right here. It's also a dual tone steering wheel, gives it a whole lot sportier feel. These paddle shifters too come in handy when you want to get into the enthusiast pants. Apart from it, the entire cabin here has a lot of buttons. The most interesting part of this cabin has to be the dual zone climate control. This allows you a segment first feature in this mid-size SUV segment, and thereby everybody in here is much comfortable. The seats themselves are beautifully cushioned. They have nice support. There's good amount of lumbar support as well. This handrest, armrest, it also doubles up as a storage. There's a segment first rollable cup holders covers right in here built inside. Now we're driving the DCT variant, thereby this is the automatic. You also get ventilated front seats. You get 10.25 inch of touch infotainment system. You get a 10.25 inch of a beautiful newly animated MID, which is only reserved for the X and the GT lines. Now there are certain misses in this particular cabin. The biggest gripe that I have with Hyundai and Kia is the inclusion of wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay even in 2023. They have dedicated bays for wireless charging. They have dedicated bays to just put your other phones in here. But then why are we still doing wired in 2023? Again, one more thing that we found as a miss is there's no cooled glove box. There's so many features here, but there's no cool glove box. That's not done. The new Seltos also gets a 360-degree camera, and this is one of the best resolution cameras and sensors that we have seen in a car of this particular price bracket. Apart from it, there's also something very intuitive. There's a drive and traction select mode right up here. Now when you just twist this, you can toggle between eco, normal and sport mode. These give you different kind of responses to your throttle inputs, and when you press and move this thing around, you can toggle through different traction modes. There's snow, mud and sand. These allow for different ways of giving traction to those front powered wheels and just maneuver through any kind of tough situations that this car goes through. Thereby, this one is very well versed for handling both the urban jungle and a bit of suburban jungle as well. The level 2 ADAS can be controlled through the driver assistance menu in the vehicle settings. As you can see, it has neat graphics. You can also have driving convenience. You can set them as per your particular levels. You can also turn them at their minimum to just avoid all the kind of beeps and sounds that you would find during driving. Kia has also updated the Kia Connect app for the Kia Seltos. By this time, this car gets 65 connected car features, which were much better than what others are offering.
Say it how you feeling right now. Say it how you say it. Show me how I look in your heart. Better look amazing.
I'm sat inside the Kia Seltos 2023 GT line, and I'm driving the newer engine as well. This is the turbo petrol, the 1.5. This one churns out 160 bhp of power and 253 Newton meters of torque. These are healthy numbers. These are also class leading numbers, and thereby the Seltos now has a good amount of performance along with efficiency under its hand. The GT line also features a turbo diesel which churns at about 116 HP of power and 250 Newton meters of torque. We will be sitting in that, and I'll let you know about that later. A substantial addition to the Kia Seltos lineup has to be the inclusion of level 2 ADAS and 17 ADAS features on the Kia Seltos top of the line variants. The top of the line variants don't just get ADAS, they also get 4 disc brakes on all the 4 tires, and they also feature some different body style. The Kia Seltos will be offered in 3 trim lines. There'll be the Tech line, which is the usual one. There'll be the X line, and then there's the top of the line GT line. This is where you'll find the turbo diesels and the turbo petrol engines that would churn out the maximum amount of power in its class. Kia has taken good amount of feedback from their own customers, and they look at Seltos owners as their potential next buyers of this current Seltos as well. And why should they not? Because things have improved. Things have improved in the dimensions, thereby the car is a bit more larger than it was before. Things have majorly improved on the ride and comfort end of things, because the major gripe that was there before with the Seltos was it was an amazing handling car, but it also was really stiff on some road undulations. Well, I'll be happy to report that that is not the case anymore. This car is very comfortable when it has to be, and is also sturdy enough when you're taking those turns at some high speeds. It still retains the Seltos DNA, but this time around it refines it and brings a bit more matured ride quality, which feels that it is tailor-made to handle Indian roads. 3-spoke steering wheel that we have on the GT line has a flat bottom. It also gets paddle shifters, and it also gets dual tone on it, so thereby it feels sporty. But there is one gripe that I really have with Kia, and that is the size of the steering wheel. I'm not quite sure what exactly does make this steering wheel feel a tad bit shorter for this car, but I think it would be great for somebody who's of a shorter height. They will be easier to maneuver this car, but somebody who's tall enough or even average, they'll feel that this steering wheel is a tad bit smaller compared to the entire size of the car. Kia has been benchmarking the entire feature list of India and the entire mid-size SUV segment altogether. But why, oh why, when you're launching a car in 2023, why does this car have wired Android Auto and wired Apple CarPlay? I mean, it just makes no sense in a car that has level 2 ADAS. Kia has also improved the NVH levels of this car. Not like the Seltos before was really bad, but this one is substantially greater. In fact, there's also to the point where I could say that it increases the amount of appeal inside the cabin because of the great NVH levels that Kia has managed to maintain with the newer Seltos. There's no road noise, there's no undulations that sort of creep inside. In fact, it has been tuned towards the comfort end of things when the speeds are slow, and it has been tuned towards the performance end of things when the speeds pick up. Thereby, Kia has managed a beautiful balance with the new Seltos. The most curious case of the Kia Seltos has to be its price, because when we think about the Seltos before, it offered a lot of things, but now it has improved, and thereby the whole package has gone up. As we understand that the ADAS level 2 technology and all of it would not be available in all the trims, it would be only reserved for the top of the line trims. But the pricing increase is not much. In fact, what we found out is that the prices of this car as compared to the previous generation of the Kia Seltos are just a mere 40,000-50,000 rupees more on road, which is nothing compared to the amount of features that you would actually expect to get in the Kia Seltos right now. Now, when you think about the GT line and when you think about this engine, when it comes to pure figures, you would think that the performance might be jerky or this thing, but Kia has very well tuned this engine for the Seltos. The power delivery is absolutely linear. There's no jerks, nothing whatsoever. When you put down your foot, the turbo builds up and the power delivery is thereby then delivered in a very linear fashion. It just keeps on pulling, and it's the same thing for the brakes as well. The brakes have good initial bite and they also have very progressive brakings. Thereby, driving the Seltos feels like a charm. It feels like the old Seltos has just grown up. I'm now sat in the diesel variant of the Kia Seltos, and I'm pretty sure you cannot make out based on what exactly the interior is, because the GT line gets the same kind of options for everything, but it's on the exteriors that you actually make out which one is a diesel and which one is a petrol in the GT line. Alright, despite this being a diesel, there is the initial diesel hum that we've all come accustomed to, but when the car is in motion, the refinement levels are absolutely spot on. It's very hard to believe that this is a diesel, especially when it's in motion at around 70-80. It's very silent, it's very well refined. There's no unnecessary hum. It's only when you sort of push the throttle hard that you can get this engine audible, but the power delivery too matches that amount of feedback. This engine is something that we have come accustomed to. We have seen this before in the Creta as well, and it is one of the best turbo diesel engines that we have on market today. Tuned for the Seltos, this one offers great fuel efficiency and a good balance of performance as well. Driving the Seltos was always fun, but now with the newer powertrains and improved ride quality and comfort, along with improved NVH levels and to a major extent an improved product altogether, the Seltos makes a great case for itself in an overly crowded mid-size SUV segment. We drove the Kia Seltos for a couple of 100 kilometers today, and from what we understand, the Kia Seltos that was launched back in the year 2019 was disruptive. The 2023 Kia Seltos 2 is on the disruptive path. This time, Kia has adhered to just about every feedback that they got from their customers, from improving the ride quality to even the modern stylish look that the Kia Seltos always brings to the table. And the feature list on this one, along with the amount of equipment that Kia has put on the Seltos, is so huge you'll require a booklet to go through. On that note, we really feel that the Kia Seltos has again hit another benchmark for itself and its rivals. It would be hard to match this, and we're looking forward to a more competitive and a much better mid-size SUV market in India with the launch of the new Kia Seltos. What do you feel? Let us know in the comment section below. Wait. Let's not end this like this. Let's just quickly summarize what all does the Kia Seltos have and something that it does not. Well, the best part about the Kia Seltos right now is the improvement in the ride quality. The suspension setup is better. The wheels are much better right now. There's also a very powerful engine in here, the 160 HP along with the 253 Newton meters of torque. This one is a gem to go work with. It's refined, it's efficient, and it's also powerful when you want it to be. The ADAS technology brings added amount of safety net along with the whole amount of safety net that the Kia Seltos already had. But there's still one miss. In a whole world of wireless technology, it still relies on wired for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and misses out on a few things here and there. But apart from it all, this is a very mature product right now, and in 2023 is an absolute buy from our end. Let us know what you feel about this particular car in the comment section below. Also like, share and subscribe, and let everybody know that the Seltos is here.